Hello and welcome. I am Roy at Ninjazilla90, and today I will be reviewing the Mattel Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse Scareglow figure. And I got some things to say about them. So, with that said, let's get on with this review. And now, starting things off with the box, because you know we got to talk about really cool boxes on this channel when we have them. And yeah, as you can see, I've already taken the figure out. So yeah, unfortunately, I didn't do an unboxing video on this one because yeah, I had plenty of other figures to unpack. But anyway, we have the Masterverse logo at the top of the box, letting you know the figure line that it is from. And I still have his interchangeable hand accessories in there, which I will get to later in this video. And of course, we have the it's from a Netflix original series right there. And of course, we have Masters of the Universe Revelation right there, which is the series that this character is from. And of course, we have Scareglow, which is the name of the figure you are getting inside. We have the Mattel logo right there. We have over 30 points of articulation. We have barcode right there, which yeah, I know nobody's interested in barcodes. And we have ages 6+, which yeah, I highly doubt a 6-year-old would realize that yeah, some of these figures are super stiff out of the box and you really got to heat them up and work those joints in order to move them. But anyway, we have Scareglow, which is the name of the figure yet again on the side of the box. And we have, it says he is the evil ghost of Skeletor, which I thought Scareglow and Skeletor were two different characters, because although I forgot Scareglow's name before he was Scareglow, I did watch Pixel Dan's review. I think it was on a Mondo Scareglow figure. He talks about his real name and origin in it. I completely forgot. But anyway, we have a cool picture of Scareglow right there on the side. Looking really awesome. Looking very Grim Reaper-like. And also, speaking of Scareglow, I've seen that those new promotional pictures of the Masters of the Universe Chronicles Scareglow figure that's coming out. And that one looks freaking awesome. But anyway, I think this one's cool too. But anyway, we have another really cool picture of Scareglow on the back of the box right there. Looking really awesome. Looks like he's about to trying to sneak up on somebody, trying to scare the heebie-jeebies out of them, I guess. And of course, we have his character bio right there. So you can pause that and read it. So I'll leave it there for a hot little minute so you guys can read it if you choose to. I've already read it, but yeah, I'm a slow reader, so I'm not going to waste your time. And moving right along, we have also available, which is different figures you can get in this line. We have Stinkor, which I'm unsure if I'm going to pick up because, yeah, I don't know if I want to get them out the box and then smell them. Might not smell too well, but anyway, we have Scareglow, which is the figure that you are getting inside the box, of course. We have Andrea, and we have Fisto right there. And of course, we have the Mattel logo yet again, empowering the next generation through play. And of course, we have a bunch of recycling logos. And the bottom of the box, nothing too interesting. It's from a bunch of legal jibber jabber and barcode and other stuff that nobody cares about. But anyway, yeah, that pretty much concludes it for the box. Now on to the figure. And now, here we have the Mattel Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse Scareglow figure right here before us. And all of his dark, evil, scary, ghostly glory. As you can see, this is a well-sculpted, well-detailed, highly articulated figure made by these super cool, awesome people at Mattel, of course. As you can see, his color scheme is mostly black, dark purple, and silver. And of course, if you do turn off the lights, his skull does glow, but mine doesn't seem to really glow all that brightly in the dark, so I don't know if that's a QC issue with mine, or what, or they just didn't put enough, like, glow dye in the skull of mine. I don't know, but mine just doesn't seem to glow all that much, but that really doesn't bother me. I still think this is a really cool figure. Now, of course, he is a villain character, so yeah. If you're gonna have heroes, you gotta get the villains too. So yeah. Who else the good guys are gonna fight if you don't get the bad guys? But anyway, getting back to this figure, the skull is well detailed. Looks pretty, at least show accurate as it can get. He has those blood red pupils in there. Looking really nice. He has this little crack on the top of his skull that's sculpted in, and of course we see these little nose hole in the middle of his skull that's well painted, and we have some black irises in there, and you can see how his teeth is all individually sculpted as well. Mattel did a good job on the sculpting on this one. And of course, one thing I do want to point out is if you have the new Eternia Keldor figure, which I've noticed, and I'll also demonstrate this when I review the Keldor figure. If you look at the bracers on the Masterverse, or Masters of the Universe, Masterverse Revelation Scareglow, he has the exact same bracers as the Keldor figure, except these, I believe, is either sculpted on or glued on, so you can't take them off. But yeah, except the bracers that the Keldor figure have, and they're like a metallic gold, and these are dark purple. So yeah, that's the big difference. But anyway, we also do have some cloth goods with this figure. So we do have a cloth cape that has some like ripped and tattered detail, making this like his cape look like it's like aged, like he's some like ancient ghostly villain, which he practically is. And of course we do have this collar piece, which is supposed to kind of be like a piece that connects to the cape, which is removable if you take his head off. So give me a second. Let me take his, so yeah, if you take his head off, you can remove that collar piece and the cape if you choose to, but I'm going to leave it on because it's supposed to stay on, but I'm just showing you. It is removable if you want to do that, so yeah, there we go. But anyway, going over more detail, we do have these, sort of like really cool, like yellowish, like neon green, like glowing bones that's painted on them, and we do have some glowing bones that's kind of that's sculpted into the hand. So his like bony fingers is sculpted into the hand pieces, so they're not just like painted. So that's cool. And also, I don't know if you notice, if you hold his figure up to the light, you could probably tell with his finger. Because I have the light on my phone because that's what I'm filming this on. This figure is actually a translucent black. So yeah, it's molded with some translucent material. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, of course, I never really had any of the vintage figures from back in the day. But I hear like the vintage Masters of the Universe Scareglow is like super expensive and it's like hard to find. And that one's like has a completely different color scheme where I believe it's molded in like a white material, but it glows in the dark. This is more, like I said, translucent black. we do have some purple in the boots there. So he does have purple boots with these metallic armor pieces going around the lip of the boot. Lip of the boots, and we do have like the spiked, knee guards here. That's kind of like, are like shin guards. It's kind of, sort of like lower leg protection there. So, looking really cool. And of course, we do have his skirt right there. So, yeah, it's a skirt, if you want to call it that. It is made out of a rubbery material, and we do have these two slits in the side, so we can bring his legs out to do the splits if we want to. So, with that said, yeah, enough yakking. I will now demonstrate articulation with this figure. For his articulation, it's pretty much the same thing, same amount of articulation you get with every Masterverse figure, except the fact that since this is an earlier released Masterverse figure and it's from the Revelation series, yeah, you still have that that peg joint in the middle of the torso, which yeah, which was a bad idea for Mattel to think of, which I actually noticed Mattel is not the only company that's guilty of that, because guess what I've noticed? Yeah, the same type of dreaded peg joint that you can't rotate all the way, and if you try, you're going to snap the torso. Hasbro's guilty of it too, with the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Power Rangers Zeo Megazord. Yeah. That one has a peg joint in the middle of the torso as well, except that one's like a much bigger figure. I'm just saying, Mattel's not the only company that's guilty of yeah, making bad choices when it comes to articulation points on their figures. But anyway, getting back to articulation, head can look up, we can look down, we can look right, we can look left, and we can cranium revolve us all around a full 360, and the opposite way. We can also rock forward and back with the torso joint, and we can lean side to side if we choose to. And we also do have swivel hinges in the shoulders, so we can bring his shoulders up in a T-pose if we choose to. And we can put them back down. So, yeah. So I guess if we put Scareglow in a T-pose like so, I guess with those bones showing there, I guess that makes that a T-bone, I guess. But anyway, we can rotate all the way around because we do have that swivel joint. So we can go both ways if we choose to, as you are witnessing. And also we do have a very good fluid bicep swivel. So swivel those biceps all the way around. Double joint at the elbow. So we do have those double joints at the elbow, as you are seeing. Swivel in the wrist. Hinge in the wrist. Same is true with the other hand. And we can rock it forward and back. And we do have a trigger finger on the hand for some reason, even though it doesn't come with a gun. It's the same thing with some of the Skeletor figures as well. So I find that kind of odd. It has a trigger finger, even though he doesn't have a gun. But yes, it is what it is. We can swivel all the way around a full 360 at the waist and the opposite way. But however, like I said, do not try to swivel the top torso joint. So yeah, just letting you guys know that is a no-go zone with these. We do have some really good hip joints though. We do have ball joints in the hips, so we can split out about that much. So we can do those Johnny Cage splits with Scareglow there. So that's a definite plus. And we could kick forward about this much and back down. Back not so much. Same is true with the other leg. And back down. It is a little hindered by the skirt, but not by that much, since we do have these two slit cuts in the side there. So Mattel did think ahead when it came to hip articulation. But anyway, we do have some swivels at the top of the thighs, so we can thigh swivel. Although it's a little hard to see because it's covered by the skirt. But yeah, you can see thigh swivels. I'm going to show you the other side so you guys can see. Raise up that skirt. So yeah. Just so you can see how those thigh swivels work. And of course, we do have a double joint in the knee, so we can bend those knees all the way back like so. And then bend them forward again. We do have a shin swivel at the top of the boot, or boot swivel, as they might say. It's a little stiff on mine, but it is doable. So, yeah, I might have to hit that with some heat. And of course, we do have the same thing on the other side. And we also have a hinge in the ankles, so we do have ankle hinges, so we can point those ankles all the way down, and then back up, and point them down again. And we have a peg joint, a swivel peg joint, so we can swivel them all the way around, so we can pivot those ankles a full 360 if we choose to. And we can bring them back up so I can stand them up properly. And as for accessories, we do have some handy accessories. We have an open palm hand for the left hand side, his left, my right, and your right. And we do have a closed fist hand for his right hand, or our left in this case. And of course, he comes with his signature weapon. I think it's called like the Shadow Scythe or something. It's more like a spear weapon, sort of. I think like the correct name for these weapons, it's like a bladed polearm. I think it's like a naginate or something. It's like a Japanese weapon, I believe, or like a Chinese like bladed spear. I know Song Nina from Soul Calibur has a weapon like this, something like that. But yeah, so put that in his hand, and there he is with his Shadow Scythe. That's what you call it, even if you know it's kind of more like a bladed polearm. But anyway, if I have to give this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give him a drum roll, please. And when it comes to detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give him a well-deserved, solid, well-earned 9 out of 10. The only reason why I'm taking points off is because, yeah, like I said, I think that peg in the middle of the torso, it was a bad idea, and that should have been a ball joint the whole time, which I'm glad Mattel updated that with later Masterverse figures, which they should have updated that with all Masterverse figures, because the Vintage Collection Skeletor right here, I do not know why Mattel chose to go this route, but yeah, no ball joint in there. It's the same peg joint, so I do not know why. I guess they just I guess they had bodies left from the San Diego Comic-Con Skeletors they didn't use, and I guess they it's like you know what? We'll just add the bottom, the lower body portion with the updated hip joints, and yeah, we'll call it a day. But yeah, I think that was a bad idea, because yeah, if you try to rotate that all the way around, it's gonna snap. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for this review. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your viewership is much appreciated. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And to wrap it all up, stay safe, take care, stay positive, stay powered up, God bless, and peace out.